my ministry burnout video and you're thinking, this is me, stay tuned because I actually have some solutions for you. Here's some fluffy answer where we're talking about bubble baths and just forget about it. It doesn't really work for some of us. So for some of us, we need structure, we need clarity, and we need to know if it's going to work because we don't want to waste our time. And so these are real solutions that are backed by science, like I just mentioned, that I use. And I was really inspired. I use this frequently when I'm really feeling like I don't have a good regulated nervous system. And this method is called the 4-7-8 method. Nothing new under the sun. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna use your fingers. We're gonna use our fingers, okay? If you wanna use a clock, you can, but we're gonna use our fingers. So you're going to breathe in through your nose. You're gonna count up to 4, and then you're gonna hold your breath and you count up to 7. Use your fingers and regulate yourself like that. And then you're gonna exhale, opening your mouth wide, and you're gonna breathe out, and you're gonna count to 8, and you're gonna use your fingers to count that out. So then you do it 3 times. And actually, you know what? Pause the video and do it right now and tell me how you. So if you actually did it, great. So what happens now is actually your vagus nerve gets activated. And so this is actually your body's natural chill pill. And sometimes if you can't sleep, you literally can take these 2 fingers and you can go like this in the back, and you do that a couple of times with the breathing. And what that does is it helps your body actually regulate itself. Even your mood, when you feel erratic, when you feel stressed, when you feel all overwhelmed, you basically turn your body from panic mode to regular mode. Now, there's no magic chill pill when it comes to that, but this is the closest you can get from a scientific perspective to help regulate yourself. And so it really helps you get down to that level in 2 minutes. I actually do this breathing method pretty frequently, whether it's I'm having a special conversation before I preach, even sometimes when I'm having confrontive conversations that will stress me out, or I just feel really my body riddled with anxiety or stress. I help my body because my brain is tricking me and telling me that everything is not going to be okay. So if you haven't tried that, I highly recommend you do that. We'll move on to method number 2. It's called the Sabbath Microdose. Genesis chapter 2, verse 2-3 says, God rested on the 7th day and what? Made it holy. Yes. And so if the creator of the universe knows how to rest, why can't you and I rest? What makes you think that you can't do it? So let me explain. In my last video, I talked about Sabbath and I said it's a 24-hour window where you actually cease all work. A lot of you gave me feedback that, oh my goodness, that is severely intimidating for me. I can't do that. So here's what we're gonna do, phones. And these phones are causing us to really be impacted by the blue light, the timing, the screens. And a lot of times when we are scrolling on TikTok, even Netflix, it's numbing our ability to actually be in touch with what's going on inside our bodies. Our bodies are a temperature gauge. Even spiritually, it's an indicator of where we are at. And so when we are not dealing with it and we run into something else, what happens is that we can't find rest. Shopping isn't rest, TikTok is not rest, Netflix is not rest. You know, switching from one stimulation to another, whether it's food or other things that you use to stimulate yourself, whatever that is, it does not cause you to rest. So here is what you're gonna do. You're going to start implementing micro Sabbath habits. Okay, I know it's a mouthful, say it 7 times, but here's what you're gonna do, okay? You're gonna take 20 minutes and you're gonna do nothing. You're gonna do nothing. You're going to do absolutely nothing. This means that you are not even doing anything. So here's what you can do. If you're struggling with it, if you have a balcony, maybe put your phone in another room for 20 minutes and set a timer and go outside and sit in the sun for 20 minutes, nothing. No device, no phone, no nothing, no people, no books, just sit for 20 minutes. No phone, no goals, no optimization, you just exist. And I actually have some scientific evidence why this 20-minute rest works. Named Dr. Matthew Rakel, and he discovered that your brain's default mode network is what he calls it. It literally repairs itself. You basically create new neurons every day when you sleep. But when you're not trying to achieve anything, it just repairs itself. So the rest is actually cellular. Your rest is actually very much restorative, and it's not lazy. It's necessary. So it's like if you work with computers, you understand if you leave your laptop running for days and days and days, it needs a reset. You can't just put in sleep mode and just slam it shut. It needs to be reset so it's functional. So our brains are the same way. So those of you that are not just in ministry, but any other area of your life, I highly recommend that you try this. Gratitude interruption. Alex Korb found that the gratitude literally rewires your brain. And I mean, it's a very biblical thing that we do, but those of you that are struggling with just science and Bible, I'm telling you, this is the place. In this channel, we're gonna find evidence for everything the Bible already says. But anyways, he says that gratitude literally rewires your brain's negative bias. We have a natural default to be negative, and so he says that when we actually increase our gratitude, we increase our dopamine, which is basically our happy mood in our head, and serotonin. So these are the natural antidepressants, and gratitude actually does that. And when we look at 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 18, it says, give thanks in all circumstances. It didn't say sometimes, it didn't say when you feel like it, it says all the time. So if you are burnt out, it's probably because this is a practice that you need to implement. Write the scripture down, and here's what you're gonna do. We understand that some of these circumstances that we're faced are not requiring us to be like faking it, but it's genuine, saying, God, despite of how things came to be, it could have been worse, and I'm grateful that I'm alive. Simple as that, in the difficulty of your circumstance, can help. Now, I'm not being toxic positivity when I say this, because even in the mess, we can find the beauty, the silver lining in that. So here's what you're gonna do. Very practical method. It's called 3, 2, 1. Gratitude. Okay, so every morning before you check your phone, number the 3 things that you're grateful for: big or small, breath in your lungs, your ability to X, Y, and Z, right? Go ahead and list it. And the second thing is to write down 2 people that matter to you the most. And number 1 thing about you that you appreciate, positive about yourself. If you want to make this into more scripture based, you can kind of like repeat verses as well, but this is just more of an act of appreciation. This turns on your brain's dopamine first thing in the morning, and it helps you really have a positive perspective. Discouraged that you need to be extremely positive. Be honest, God cares about that as well. Closing, what I want to say is that in neuroplasticity, I'm not an expert, but I am a nerd and I love reading. And one thing I've learned is that your brain creates what you focus on. So you focus on problems, you'll find more problems. If you focus on gratitude, you train your brain to see more good. This is an area that was a point of contention for me that I'm growing in. And so I'm not sharing this to you as advice because I figured it out. I'm literally preaching to the choir, but these are tangible methods to start with. I believe that the Sabbath, we're gonna have more of a longer conversation about Sabbath, but I hope this encourages you. So don't wait until Monday to implement this. Don't wait until you have time, because burnout doesn't ask for permission, and it definitely doesn't need it for your recovery either. And so I really want to encourage you today to consider that. Please, I would love to know. Share this with a friend who might be going through burnout, and honestly, maybe even some people in your life that need some tips. This is just a very simple video to help you. And if you're interested in more content like this, that's not just about biblical principles, but more about neuroplasticity and practical ways we can actually move the needle in our lives to transformation, I'm your girl, Gifty, and I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. See you in the next one. Bye.